So when you explain things, you should use the rule of 3. You're going to have to address it at least 3 different ways, 3 different times. And this is something I keep talking to people about. And they want to get on board with it, but they're not really sure. And it's kind of an emergent process for me, so maybe I'm not doing a great job. But here's what I've come up with. I only shoot at the speed that the target allows. So as a shooter, I need to clearly define how fast I can shoot a big circle, a medium circle, and a small circle. Because the size of the target will change relative to the size of the target, the distance imposed on the target, something in the way. If it's moving, I'm moving, or we're both moving. Now, I'm always moving when I'm aiming, so there's always movement involved. So there is a dwell time that's acceptable. That means the sight is in the target, and there's a time where it leaves. Now, how do I manage all that? Through 3 processes. Number 1 is how I slow the hands down. Okay? If it's a very small, careful target, I'm going to stop at the stop sign like the police are watching me. Okay? That means paranoid. Full stop, don't look at them, and then drive through, and that's why you got pulled over. Okay? But you're going to come to a full stop and see something so that you can aim, because it requires ultimate precision so you don't get arrested or miss your target. Now, if I got a medium-sized target like this, it doesn't require that. So I can stop my hands gently. Think about who taught you to drive. Your mom, your dad, and what did they hate more than anything? You jamming on the gas and you stopping the car abruptly. And if they had a preference, it'd probably be stopping the car abruptly because it slams everybody forward. This is what's missing in your middle range is I just let the hands glide to a stop. It's a perfect stop at a stop sign. I look for the kids in the neighborhood and I roll on because that requires that sort of speed. Now, when I got a target this size, maybe at 5 yards, it doesn't require any of that. I simply draw the gun as quickly as I can, and I can fire it when I see some sort of alignment. So you stop at this stop sign like the police does, because they don't stop at signs. True that, right? That's how I roll. You roll right through it. And there's certain neighborhoods in the world where you can't stop at a stop sign. It's really a bad idea. So I don't need to stop at the stop sign here. I don't really have to worry about slowing down, but I have to worry about seeing something. So now let's go to the visual process. How much of the sight do I need to see in that? All of it. So I'm really going to focus now. I'm going to focus my eyes. I'm going to see the alignment relative to the target. This one at 5 yards, as long as it's floating inside of it, I can shoot. Doesn't matter whether I shoot here or here unless I'm doing the scoring, but as long as it's in that target, I can shoot. And in this guy, how much do I need to see of the sight? I need to have some visual reference, which we called a flash, but it could be the back of the gun, it could be the cowling, or it could be a red dot. The interesting thing about the Zen nature of the dot is when you stop seeking it, it'll be there. This is the matrix. Quit looking for it, simply accept it and it'll be there. All right. Now the final thing in this is how do you press the trigger? Okay. When I press the trigger here, I better do it with certain speed. All right. Which means very smoothly, and I'll never stop moving. But I'm not going to do it fast, so I'm going to be super precise right here. Okay. Now this one I can have a little bit of error. So I can press it a little quicker, but I need to be careful. And in this one, I can bang on it as hard as I want. It's like a heavy bag. All right? As long as I grip the gun well, the trigger control doesn't matter because as long as it's in the circle, it does. So how do your hands stop? What do you see and how do you press the trigger? What I find with training is most people have one area they focus on. They either see well, they feel their trigger finger well, okay, or they stop their hands well, but they don't do all 3, so they lack modulation in their draw. The other thing I see that is they only have one speed for everything. All right, so accuracy first shooters, I'm talking to you. You're my people. I know the pain you feel. You shoot everything at this pace. You shoot this at this pace, shoot this at this pace, so you only have one draw speed, you only have one trigger speed, you only have one visual speed. You need modulation because, once again, the size of the target tells you how fast to shoot. Anything outside of that means you're wasting time. All right, so 0.2 splits at 5 yards turn into 0.6 to 0.8 splits at 25 yards. No more, no less. That's what I can shoot it at. I don't know what you can, but you can shoot it because I'm watching the dot come up and come back down. I'm paying attention to it. I'm not making sight pictures. I'm making a movie, like Gabe White says, and I just watch it come up and down. And when it enters the target, I've already prepped the trigger because I have trigger control, and I press it, and it goes in the target, and it lifts and comes back to the same spot. And when I'm done shooting, I take my finger off the trigger and avert the muzzle. That's how you control your speed. So I want you guys to think about the one thing you're missing. Is it braking speed? Is it vision? Or is it how you press the trigger? And start working on that. okay? And then have 3 modulations in your draw to different size targets. And the sizes are this. This is highly scientific, and I made these words up. Big, medium, small. Small, medium, and big. All right. If it's a big target, get after it. If it's a medium target, apply a little caution because there's a penalty. And if it's a small target, do everything right.